I did one thing.
No.
One single solitary thing. And that, my dudes, was watch Terrace House.
Oh,
okay.
All night long.
I'm into this.
All night long. Like are we talking till like the sun came up?
No, we're talking till like 1 in the morning at least, and I didn't want to stop.
It's a great show.
Dude, it's so good. How far did you get?
So like Armand has come into
my boy Armand.
Yeah, he's a cool cat, and then they have a new girl.
Okay.
Adisa.
And they're kind of hitting it off as a couple.
Yeah.
Now, we should just maybe, Robert, you might want to just kind of give the real quick synopsis on what Terrace House is for people that are unfamiliar.
Right. So Terrace House is this Japanese reality TV show. 3 guys, 3 girls, 1 house. No games, no contests, no voting off the island. It's just their daily lives, seeing how they interact with each other, what relationships form, etc., etc.
And there's a commentary panel, which my wife really appreciates.
It's so good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're pretty funny.
So wait, before we move any farther, are we gonna spoil it up to the point where Jack is at?
I want to say that we're going to talk about some Terrace House events, but I also want to like endorse this show. If you have Netflix, like who doesn't have Netflix anymore, like go check out like at least the first episode or whatever and see if it's for you. I definitely thought it was not going to be for me at all.
Until I got 20 episodes.
Yeah, until I did. And I'm like real into it now. I'm just like, oh man, I must know. It's like a soap opera. I don't know.
It's
I don't
way
know what's wrong
better
with
than
me.
a soap opera.
I really blame you guys for getting me on this. I'm so ashamed of myself, but at the same time, I feel so good.
Okay,
so yeah. So we're gonna talk about it. Yeah, ask me. What do you want to know?
Oh yeah. Okay. So, what key points have you seen so far? Like, what are the biggest happenings that you've experienced so far in the show?
Well, it's just weird because it's very interesting because you get like the real world. I don't know if you guys ever watched it on MTV. It's the same premise, but it's like American. But you get it in Japanese culture and just really so damn polite.
Yeah.
Everyone's so damn polite and but also they're like brutally open and honest. They say a lot of things out loud that I don't know if Western audiences would vocalize.
Yeah, I can agree with
follow me
that.
Yeah. And it's just like, whoa, they just said that out loud. Like, for instance, okay, I'm not even going to try with most of these people's names. I'm still struggling with them, but I know like what their professions are.
If you describe them, I'll probably know them.
Yeah, but I'm getting there too. I'm getting to that level. Okay. But the hairdresser dude, Uchi.
Yeah. Uchi,
okay. He like literally was all 6 of them or 5 of them were sitting at the dinner table, and he was basically like setting up dates with all 3 of the other girls in front of everybody. And he's like pointing at the girl on the right, and he's like, you plan our date. And then he asked the other girl, like, are you free Wednesday? You know, you plan our date Tuesday. Hey, are you free Wednesday? She's like, yeah, I'm free. And he goes, okay, I'll plan our date.
Yeah.
And then,
what
are you free
about
Thursday? Yeah, what?
What I love about these scenes is like they make the music so fucking appropriate. Like the music just cues right on time, like right on point.
Yeah, they make the tense scenes even tenser in the big heavy big drama shows. Yeah, the music definitely does add to the atmosphere. But and then so everyone's just like okay with this. Like this dude's like, yeah, I'm setting up dates with all 3 of you women, and we'll see what happens.
I mean, to be
everyone's
fair,
just like okay, like what?
I don't think everyone was like super okay with it. People on the show were very like, is this guy for real? Is he serious? You know what I mean?
And he was.
Yeah,
he was.
But it's not like all Japanese men do this. They like run into a group of women.
Yeah, this is like one of my, part of my limited exposure of like Japanese culture. So I think it's very fascinating. I'm
plot twist, he's Mormon.
Yeah, it's
a Japanese Mormon.
I thought that was really strange. He ends up going on like the dates, right? He follows through, and then he like picks one, right? Like he thinks he's making his own, like The Bachelor or whatever. He's making his own game out of this show, and then he picks a girl, and then the girl's like, I don't really know, because you just dated literally me and my 2 roommates over the span of 3 days, so I don't know if I want to be with you like that. And then I'll let the the happenings after that kind of, I won't say those for people that want to watch the show, but it was just really bizarre.
But you did see the part where he does go on the dates.
I saw the dates. I saw past that too, and then I saw like what arises from that event, right? If that makes sense, if you follow me. So I'm really like more into Armand, and I'm really into the new girl. I can't even remember her name. Like I'm into Arissa, that's right. I'm into their like relationship and how it's working out. And it's so weird too because like all the girls talk about who they like. It's like a dating show.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not really a reality show. To call it a reality show is almost a misnomer. It's more a dating show where you date your roommates.
Yeah,
because that's all anyone cares about.
That's kind of way more accurate, I think, when it comes to describing the show. Because
right,
like I've seen 88 episodes of Terrace House, and I can confirm that it's usually all about like who's gonna date who and that kind of stuff.
And
and to make it kind of timely, I think like last Tuesday, the last part of Aloha State, the next Terrace House like location, the last part of that dropped last Tuesday, and I binged it all of last week. And of course, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it might be some of the best TV I've ever seen.
What?
It's really, really, really good.
Okay.
I think, and honestly, now that you say that, I think that's probably the one big criticism that I have about the show is that, and not that I have a problem with it being about dating, because that stuff, it's interesting, and it, whether or not, someone goes out with someone else is always, it's always like, okay, I want to see the next episode and see if this happens or not, but it would have been cooler if they did a lot more stuff following the characters and their jobs, or like their, you know what I mean? Or their personal lives. Like, I think they give Yuki, the tap dancer, I think they give him like one scene where he actually tap dances, 1 or 2 scenes.
Yeah, and he was good too.
That's what I'm saying. He's insane.
That's the thing, though. He was trying to mac on pretty much all the girls. He was really focused, though. Okay, I do want to talk about this. He really was focused on Yuriko. Is that her name?
Yeah,
the nurse.
Yeah, the nurse. Yes. And I'm like, bro, she's in med school. Like, I didn't know she was gonna be a nurse, but she's still like, gonna have a bright future in the medical field, But I'm like, bro, she's probably not gonna date a professional tap dancer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if she's in medical school, you know what I mean? So he was shooting a little bit for the stars. Did you see how all that
transpired?
I did, and that's what I want to kind of bring up too. So minor spoilers here as well. Like, wow, she kind of played him hard. Like they were talking about this restaurant called the Blue Note, and she's like, oh yeah, and she's like, oh, I'd love to go to the Blue Note, but it's so expensive, right? And she didn't go. One of the commentators pointed out, like, she didn't say I want to go with you. She just said I want to go to the Blue Note.
She did my boy Yuki so dirty.
Yeah, it was rough. It was brutal. And then so they finally go on the date, and he's like trying to mac on her. He's trying to date her. And she waits till they're done eating. Waits till they're about to leave the restaurant the whole time, and then says, oh, I'm getting back with my ex.
Yep.
Like,
dude, you just see all the life at his eyes just disappear.
But he played
all
it
the
off.
air just gets sucked out of him.
Dude, he played it off like, well, though, man.
He's like, it's been a good day. Like,
yeah, he's like,
God, you poor soul.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm so happy for you. Oh gosh, like, man, like,
and
you know what I'd be doing? I'd be like,
single
hey.
tear.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, we're splitting this check, right? Like, how many drinks did you get again? Like, there's no way. There's no way, man. He got played.
Oh yeah, dude. You just fucking ripped out his heart and stomped on it.
It was super hard to watch. It legitimately was hard to watch.
I think the hardest one for me to watch of that is the whole Costco thing. You guys remember that?
Oh, I haven't been there yet. No, I'm only at episode 13. Is it
no? You've seen it. We're like the tap dancer. He asks like Yuriko, "Hey, let's go out on another date," and she's like, "Oh, we should go to Costco with everyone else."
No, he asked Arissa.
What?
No, he wasn't Yuriko that he asked. He asked Arissa.
Oh,
yeah, that's right. I'm telling you, Robert, I don't know anything about what you're talking about.
I could have sworn that was with Yuriko.
Okay.
Well, oops.
Okay. So all Japanese women look the same to Robert.
Yeah, no, I'm the one that's like that for sure.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, dude, I mean, you still haven't. You just wait. There's some shit. Just something. They're just wait for the meat stuff. You'll see.
Dude, I could not get off the couch. It was a problem. It was a problem.
Have you gotten the theme song stuck in your head yet?
Maybe not. It's a great song.
I definitely have. It's very good.
Yeah.
Wait, is it the same thing in Aloha?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, good. I'm glad it doesn't switch. I would be disappointed. I think the name of the song the name of the band is Lights Follow. The name of the song is Slow Down.
Slow Down. Yep.
So
It's time to slow down.
Listen to that song. So I don't know. Maybe we should start the show.
Yes,
now.
we should probably get into this. So welcome to episode 18 of the Tiny Disc Podcast. We can now legally vote. It's a show about games and life. I'm Robert Scarpanito, and I'm joined here by Jack Cepeda.
When all this seems like it's okay, and all we feel is day to day, we're on replay. That's really bad, but that's the song.
And Colin Sparling.
So can we go to Costco after this?
Oh, God.
With everyone?
Like, not just with you on anything like a date?
So a couple disclaimers at the top of this episode. Colin and I are recording in the same room, so I'm not sure how that's going to affect the recording at the end, and I apologize for that if it's noticeable. So I guess we should probably let you guys know next week we're probably going to do a Blade Runner 2049 spoiler cast. So if you're planning on watching it this weekend, tune in next week for the end of our episode. We're going to talk a lot about our thoughts, emotions, comments, concerns, questions on Blade Runner 2049.
My feels.
Yep. And to prep for that, Colin let me borrow his copy of Blade Runner, and I watched it for the first time this past weekend.
Oh, it's worth noting it's the final cut, by the way, because there's like 7 different cuts.
Yeah,
movie.
that's a problem. Yeah.
To my understanding, you two have already seen the film, right?
Before I talk about this, I do want to give one more disclaimer. As you can probably tell from poor Robert's larynx sounds there, if you need any beats to get sicker, Robert can cough on them for you. Just email us and we'll make that beat super sick for you. So feel better, man. I hope you get better. Eat some ramen or something.
Thank you for that. That was wonderful. That was beautiful. But yeah, so you two have seen Blade Runner, the original film, right?
Well, of course.
Yeah. I saw it.
Yeah, 6 times, Colin, if I remember right, at least.
Yeah, 6 or 7 times at this point. I didn't actually see it until like a few months ago, and then I just decided to sit down and watch it one day after hearing so much about it, and I knew the sequel was coming out, so I sat down and watched it, and just fell in love with it. And then I bought a Blu-ray, and I've been just watching the shit out of it since.
So my experience with this movie is that, of course, I heard everyone talking about it. You hear the name referenced all the time. Ridley Scott, Harrison Ford, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, all right, I got to check this out. So I don't remember if I rented it or what, but I did watch it once, and I've only seen it once. And then I was like, okay, that was a cool movie. And then I never watched it again, just because it's kind of heavy film. Like, I don't feel like it's one of those films you can, like, it's kind of some heavy lifting, especially at the end. So I don't know if you could sit there and, like, watch it, like, multiple times in a week. I think that's kind of a big ask. But I respect the film tremendously. I'm very much looking forward to the new one. And, no, we can talk about it, though. I can share my my thoughts.
Yeah, so I guess light spoiler warning on the OG Blade Runner. If
that's been out for 35 years.
Yeah,
yes.
So if you haven't seen that and you're for some reason going to be mad about spoilers, just let you know right off the top.
Yeah, I have a feeling a lot of people are going to watch it, though, before the first movie. Because if you see reviews for the new Blade Runner, like, wow, this is like
amazing.
Yeah, it's being touted as one of the best movies of the year, which I'm not surprised because their director, I can't even say his name,
Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah, he is, responsible for Sicario, for The Arrival. Like, he does really good quality stuff, and he's a Blade Runner super fan. Like, super fan of the first film. So I think that it doesn't surprise me that this movie is turning out good. So we'll see. But I don't know what I know that you kind of dropped some shade a little bit, Robert, when we kind of brought this up earlier.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
Oh
so
boy!
I'm honestly,
Robert.
Gird your loins.
So I've seen the first film, and it's just okay. It's not the best, in my opinion. I get where it's coming from. I get like how it's become such a touted film, because it's definitely one of those films you can watch it over and over again and it still feels like a whole new movie. Like every time you see it, it's something new, it's something different. You notice different things, you pick up on different story beats. But I think as like a blockbuster recommendation, or just like a movie to watch, like, it's not a popcorn movie by any means. I don't think it's a fun movie to watch. The first movie, no. There's so many shots of like people flying in cars and like long panoramic shots of like the skyline, and it's like I don't give a shit about that. I really don't. And I think
see, that's where we differ. I like the artsy shots.
Okay.
See, for me, it's like I like them, but there were so many it felt like padding instead of like adding to the film, if that makes sense.
I can't agree with that. I'm sorry.
See,
keep going.
Okay, I don't know if I can even let him keep going though, Colin. Like, hold on. Like, I have to real quick. I just have to say, like, maybe you're looking at this film through the lens of 2017.
Yes, that's true. I am.
Which you can't help because this is the first time you're seeing it, and I didn't see it until the early 2000s myself. But you might be feeling a sense of deja vu with this film, especially with those long landscape shots and establishing shots and all that, and the atmosphere. You're like, oh, this looks like XYZ that I've seen all over the place. The important, and you're nodding your head, yeah. So the important thing to remember and to think about when you're watching this film is that none of that shit existed back in 1982. This is like the first time something this beautiful like was on film.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can give it its respect for that, but like I also know that I'm watching this now. Like it's hard for me to recommend it to people nowadays because I feel like there are so many other movies that do this kind of thing. If that makes sense. Like to me, it's more touted as a classic rather than like a recommended movie to watch. Like you have to appreciate classics, I think, to enjoy it more. And I see both of you grimacing at that thought.
Go ahead, Colin.
Yeah.
So no, I see where you're coming from, but this is like I think if you're a person that's going out of your way to watch Blade Runner at this point, like especially me, like going in, I had heard about it several times. I know like the reputation around it. I know how it's like the OG, right? It's the reason why we have things like Ghost in the Shell, why we have things like Cowboy Bebop, why we have, you know, a million other sci-fi related movies and other things. And knowing that, but still sitting down and watching it with these very high expectations and still being blown away, especially by the special effects for the time, was like incredible. So like even if you watch just a little bit of the behind the scenes stuff and what Ridley Scott did with practical effects for that film is fucking insane. And like the level of work and the amount that just went into that movie. Even Philip K. Dick, who wrote the book that this film is based on, was like, holy shit, this is exactly how I envisioned the book when I wrote it.
Not a great book though. Just watch the movie.
You've read the book?
No, I just know the book's not good.
Oh
Wow.
Yeah, it's not like the movie very much.
Oh well, yeah.
Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? It's not. It's the movie's kind of its own thing. It's kind of they share the same universe, but they tell their own stories.
Right.
Yeah. So think of the book almost as like, you know, an aside to it. But I mean, to say that the film is beautiful is an understatement. I mean, it was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress because it was deemed to be culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant. Like, not every movie gets that, you know? And again, you have to look at it with your 80s eyes, right? I mean, to come out in the middle of the year 1982 and look like that. I mean, where else are you going to see also like filmmakers and actors like kind of at their prime, like all working so harmoniously? Like Ridley Scott, still one of his most complete films, and that's coming from him saying that. And then you have obviously Harrison Ford at the peak of his popularity. Rutger Hauer, probably one of his most, if not his most absolute iconic role as the villain. Sean Young she went completely batshit crazy insane, you know, ever since. But like, she's very respected for her role and her performance in this film. And I don't know. I just think it really is like a celebrate. It is a movie to celebrate, but not to like sit there and be like, oh, I'm gonna have a great time. I'm gonna watch Blade Runner, you know. But it's really to just, I don't know. It reminds me of a Christopher Nolan movie in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's like it's not an easy watch. Like you said, it's not a popcorn film. It's not a movie you sit down and you're like, man, this is going to put me in a, you know, a great mood. You know, this is going to like, I mean, well, to a degree, I like the aesthetic of it so much that it does kind of like relax me to watch a film like that, I guess. But like, it's definitely a challenging movie on a level of like the narrative and the themes, I guess. And it is a lot of, they throw a lot of lore at you for sure. So
dark, gritty, fucking rainy, neon fucking Los
Cyberpunk.
Angeles.
Yeah,
Oh,
cyberpunk
it's so
noir
good.
film. I love the like the whole aesthetic, the whole vibe of the movie. It's one of those movies where like I could just put it on in the background just to have like I just want the images on my screen while
Rick
I'm doing
Deckard,
stuff.
we're actually coming up to the point in reality where the movie takes place. It takes place November 2019. Yeah, we're not that far off. But dude, even the dude's name, Rick Deckard, is just like, I don't know. I think this movie just does a lot of right things, and I just think it's something that if you consider yourself a big film fan, a fan of film, this is something that's like pretty much required viewing for me, like right up there with kind of the original Star Wars trilogy type thing.
Not to mention that the touted speech at the end by Rutger Hauer, which was written by himself. It wasn't part of the script. He wrote that final. That final speech he gives before he dies.
You're right. He improvised that, and is considered widely to be one of the greatest improvised scenes in cinematic history too. So won't spoil what he says or how he says it, but you should check out the movie for yourself. I mean, I don't know. I'm a fan. I'm a really big fan of just the way it looks, the costume design, the makeup. I mean, you got Zora in her transparent raincoat. You got really Priss's unforgettable, kind of like dark eyes when she's going to strangle him out with her thighs.
Yeah.
So wait. I haven't asked Robert this yet, but do you think Rick Deckard is a replicant?
Hold on. That's like the larger question of the whole film.
Do we even want to answer? For sure, but
I mean, should we talk about that? Because that's kind of like spoiler
the
territory.
That's
it's
the
not
whole
really
thing.
spoilery though, because it's never really answered technically outright.
Yeah,
maybe it will be. Maybe it will be in the sequel.
But will it be though? I mean, do we want to get deep into why it? I'm not really sure.
Okay.
Let's leave that question. Let's leave that question right now. We can bring that up maybe in the spoiler cast, right?
I think it is, but that's for various reasons.
I don't know.
I need to see the movie again to even come up with an opinion.
For me, I mean, this isn't answering to the replicant question, but I think like I really do hope that the sequel is like way better, just because I felt like the storytelling in the original one was very like slow, very kind of it felt very slow paced. It just took forever to get like a story beat across, if that makes sense.
No, I mean, I will kind of give you that. It's not like hitting you in the face with plot points either. You kind of have to like pay attention, and you pick up on very, very subtle shit. It like I said, it just doesn't hit you in the face like movies nowadays do. It's not like, oh hey, look, important plot. It's kind of like they kind of like, oh, we're gonna put this little thing in the background, or like, hey, we're gonna allude to different things by just kind of putting this there. Like, there's shit. I mean, there's people still doing analyses on this movie to this day and finding new shit.
People raised on Michael Bay films need not apply. Basically, like if you want, like you know what I mean, like if you want like endless explosions and shit and fucking lens flares and Optimus Prime and all that, like this isn't that kind of movie, Which is what I appreciate about it, because I just feel like those movies are a dime a dozen. Name movies that remind you of Blade Runner. There aren't that many that I can name off the top of my head, which is why I love it. Now this did influence its own whole genre, afterwards that spans across cinema. It goes to comics, it goes to video games, certainly, and computer games have massively been influenced by Blade Runner.
Snatcher, anyone?
Exactly, on the Sega CD, one of the most expensive and rarest Sega CD games ever to come out, directed by Hideo Kojima from Kojima Productions. He basically ripped off of Blade Runner whole cloth, and made an adventure game, and it's a pretty sick ass game. If you can find a copy, but
I'd love to play it.
You never played it?
No, I've never played it.
It's good, dude. It's good, but you gotta love adventure games though, because it's one adventure game. So there's not a lot of action in it, but it is basically Blade Runner the game. So I mean, I'm sure there's YouTube videos out there you could check it out. I think it's a great game though. I love the music too. So anything with Kojima.
But to compensate though, so I will say about the new movie. So the YouTuber that I was talking about before, Happy Console Gamer, who basically gave me the idea of watching Blade Runner in the first place, because he just talked about it so damn much. Well, he does he has like his Film Fury, which is his movie review channel on the side, with Victor Lucas from Electric Playground. Anyway, they got to see the movie early, and they're giving it really, really high reviews. Like they're saying that it's amazing. And they're saying, and he said while he was in the theater with a critic who said he fucking hated the first Blade Runner and he loved the new movie.
Well, I mean, the problem with putting the movie up on a pedestal a week before it even comes out is now I have all these high expectations, whereas before I didn't. Before I was just like, I wonder if it's going to be any good, and then hopefully I'll be surprised. Now I'm like, oh, this fucking better be good, or it's going to be a letdown now. But I'm going to still come at it with measured expectations, and see what they do, because I'll be honest with you, like, the idea of a new Blade Runner movie is very exciting. However, the trailers and the reality of it, I'm more worried than anything else. I'm not a big Jared Leto fan. I've already mentioned that several times on the show, and I just think Harrison Ford's he's way too weird now. Like,
he just plays Harrison. He doesn't. Even after watching episode 7 yesterday, I was like, yeah, Harrison Ford. He just plays Harrison Ford now. Like, he doesn't really play a character.
He's smoked his brain cells into oblivion, man. So,
oh god, dude, bless his heart though, man. I fucking love Harrison Ford.
Bless that man. I agree with you. So yeah, let's go on.
Let's move on. Yeah, we've been talking about Blade Runner for a while. Let's move into I'm not sure. Talking about video games this week. So Jack, you want to hit us off? Talking about what you've been playing.
I gamed, guys, all weekend. I have played more games this weekend than I can remember in a long time. First of which was Cuphead. Have you heard of it?
Oh yeah, isn't that like an old Mickey Mouse cartoon?
Basically it's Steamboat Willie, the video game, but Cuphead, right. Guys. Studio MDHR, just got released September 29th. It's basically, if you take those old historical cartoons like Steamboat Willie, like I said, like black and white, on film, real low frame rates, but a lot of character in the in the animation and everything. It's basically that / Contra, okay, or Gunstar Heroes, kind of, in a way. And the game is hard, okay, and that's kind of one of the tenets that it goes upon. Like, people want you to struggle with this game, the developers. I should know it was directed and produced by the Moldenhauer brothers, Chad and Jared. And man, they took their sweet ass time with this game too. It was like delayed, but man, it looks stunning. I've never seen a game look like this. Honestly, I can probably say I've never even seen a game attempt to look and sound like this game does.
Right.
And it is a feat. It is a technical feat. And it also is just like beautiful, stunning, artistic work. So I really don't know what else to say about it. I don't want to say too much because the game just came out, but I spent about 3 hours or so to get through the first level.
What?
And I was not the first level, but the first world.
Oh, okay.
So the first world has like 5 or 6 sub levels, but I spent a good long half hour on some of those levels. And it's interesting too because it has an overworld a la Super Mario World, right, on the Super Nintendo, or Super Mario 3 on the NES, but it also has like a mini boss rush mode, okay? Because in the overworld, you're only going to get maybe 2 full-fledged levels, which even the levels are still pretty short in their own right, but then the rest of it are just like bosses. Like, you don't have to go anywhere. You just go to the spot on the map, fight this boss. And then you are collecting coins to upgrade weapons, and I think the upgrades are pretty interesting, and they add new gameplay elements to the overall experience. What do you guys want to know? I'm playing on PC. I'm playing it with the Xbox One Elite controller, having a good time.
That's good.
Oh man, you're elite.
So elite. I guess the question that I think on everyone's mind, during the tutorial, did it take you 15 minutes to figure out how to jump over that one obstacle that I've seen in videos?
Huh.
Do you not know what I'm referencing?
Oh wait, so in the game, if something's pink, you can like bounce off of it, or you can also do an air dash. Is that what you're talking about?
No. There was this one a games journalist who posted a video of him taking 15 minutes just to like figure out how to air dash.
Oh,
it was really
it's one button.
Cringy to figure to watch that video.
That's funny. Oh, let me save your guys' sweet asses too. By the way, if you do plan on playing this game, first thing you need to do is go into the settings and change the controls. The default control.
Oh, really?
Yes, you have. If you plan on playing this game, you simply must change the controls. The controls they have are not great and not optimal. They waste space and they just make the game harder. It makes it a lot harder to play if you just use the default controls. So you really need to have the air dash on one of the triggers, whichever one's comfortable for you, because that way you can run, shoot. You can run, shoot, jump, and dash without taking your thumb off of the run and shoot buttons. Does that make sense?
Right.
So you need the dash is normally on Y or X, whatever the top button is on Xbox. You really need, so you have to like choose which one you want to do. You really need to move that to a trigger. So pro tip, do that first, and the game will be so much easier. And I improved a lot after I discovered that. And I just said to myself, like I didn't even read anything on it. I just said, man, this control sucks. Can I change it? And I did. And I was like, oh, this is so much better. So we just usually trust developers to know, how it best should be played. But this is one case where they absolutely got it wrong. Okay.
So based on your time in the game, like how much play time do you think you could get out of this? Like 20-hour game?
Yeah, I don't know how long the game is, but the first world took me 3 hours. I expect every other level to just get harder and harder and harder. And there is like a new game plus mode, I want to say, or like higher difficulty, like pro modes and stuff. So I think you get your gameplay out of it. It is $20 if I didn't say that before. It's on Steam and it's on Xbox exclusive. And they're also talking, I saw in the news that they were going to have it release on PlayStation, I want to say like around January. They're no longer doing that. Microsoft is ponying up and they're going to make it exclusive on the Xbox through the middle of next year at the very least. So it might be even be longer.
Is a timed exclusive.
Yeah, but now they're talking about extending that now because the game is really good and the reviews are really hot for it. So I look forward to playing more.
Xbox don't have shit.
Right, and they need this. Now they have PlayerUnknown as well.
Yeah, and Microsoft's in talks of actually extending PlayerUnknown's timed exclusivity as well.
That's all they got, guys.
We need this.
Yeah, they're like, Crackdown is late. We need something, please.
All right, now that we've checked our PlayerUnknown mention off for this episode, have you been playing anything else pretty cool, interesting?
I got that SNES. I know you like when people say SNES, Colin.
SNES.
I like that.
But here's the thing, though. Like I've been ever since I said that, I've been catching myself saying it, and it's terrible. I just kind of punched myself in the face.
And I've caught you saying that too, and I've just realized, like, am I a SNES guy or am I an SNES guy? And I most definitely
I'm an SNES guy, but I keep saying it.
I most definitely am, and will forever be an SNES guy. So got that, guys. That tiny little sweet, cute little tiny console in the palm of your hands. 21 games. Yep. First thing I did was I unlocked Star Fox 2. But I'll admit,
wait. Unlocked? Like it's locked away when you buy it?
Yeah, you have to beat the first level of Star Fox, and then you can play. So it's not hard to unlock. Right. But you do have to. You can't just like boot up right out of the box and get it. Which I don't know. It's fine. It's cool. First level Star Fox is iconic and fun. So I went through and just kind of played a little bit of every game. And I don't know. Do we need to go down the roster of games? Like I don't really think that's necessary.
We did that. We did that in the previous episode.
Yeah. So it's got 21 of some of the greatest games in history, people. Okay, and I definitely recommend if you can find one. There's supposed to be some on shelves, but you know what? I'm not seeing any. I'm not hearing any. And the eBay prices for the SNES Classic are pretty high still. Yeah. As are Craigslist. So all this talk, all this promise, like, oh, we're making so many more, you'll be able to get one. Like it's not necessarily proven true. We'll see, just because it is the first week it's out, how Nintendo does kind of make good on those promises they made earlier. But I wanted to play all the games until I got to Final Fantasy VI, and you guys know how I feel about that game. And hearing that music on my brand new soundbar that I got with like DTSX, like Atmos surround, it was like an experience. So I played a good solid 4 hours of Final Fantasy VI from the beginning.
Oh boy.
And I definitely plan on probably beating it probably for the 8th or 9th time. I don't know. It's so fun. It's such a great game.
Question about that version, actually. Is it like the actual SNES version or like the shitty iPhone port or whatever?
No way. How dare you ask that question?
I just thought I'd confirm.
No way. It is absolutely...
man, it's Final Fantasy 3.
It is the absolute quintessential, essential, and quintessential version of that game. It is the one to play. If anyone is going to play Final Fantasy VI, they need to play it the SNES version over all other versions. The PS1 version is sucky because it loads every time you cast a spell. Like seriously, like there's load time every time you enter a battle, which is thousands of times in these games. And every time you cast a spell, there's like a little load that you can hear the disc like, spinning and shit. It's really shitty. Yeah, the Game Boy Advance version has, its merits, I guess, if that's your only way, but it's not the optimal way to play again. So I just fell into that hole. But we can, I'm sure I'll continue to play that and talk about that going into the future. I would love to experience all the joy and majesty of that game once again.
Right.
I still think it's probably the greatest RPG ever made, in my opinion. So, and also it reaffirmed our pick for the best villain in video games, guys. Like, that's a real big reason why I want you to play this game, because Kefka is so good, man. He has so much fun, and early on in that game, and man, he is absolutely like hammered in. It's like the best villain in video games after playing again another 4 hours. So
I'm waiting to get that call, man.
Are you gonna get?
I'm waiting to get that call from my retro game store. Be like, hey, we just got a box, and you want one? Because that's what happened with the NES.
You got a guy.
I got
Is
a
that
guy.
what you're saying? You got a guy.
Multiple guys.
So you're in the market. Robert doesn't seem too enthused.
Yeah, I don't plan on getting this. I think, I mean, I don't know if you guys have noticed. I'm not one for nostalgia. Nostalgia doesn't really get me that hard.
Wait in 20 years.
Well, here's the thing.
You'll be like, in 20 years, you'll be like, Divinity 2. Oh,
yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Like, I don't have really any nostalgia for any of these games. Because, I mean, I've never really played Final Fantasy VI, at least not when I was younger.
Right.
Super Mario World, I got when I was a little bit older. But, I mean, I don't think any of those games on that list I really have any nostalgia for. I just know that they're good.
And
Yeah,
you just
and
want to
that's
be
fair.
part of, you just want to experience gaming back then.
Of course.
You want to see what arose before, what was the predecessor to the Nintendo 64. So are you guys big Nintendo 64 fans?
Well, yes. To the degree of, I would probably say Zelda. I mean, not that I'm not a fan of the console. I'm just saying, in terms of nostalgia. But I probably have the most nostalgia for like PS1, original Xbox, GameCube.
Yeah.
Robert, not a big 64 guy?
I've never owned a 64. I mean, I've been to people's houses like when I was a kid and like played, like Smash or like that one Pikachu game where you can like talk to Pikachu or whatever. I don't remember it.
Hey you Pikachu.
There you go. Yeah. Of course, GoldenEye, Ocarina of Time, all that.
Oh wait, shit! I forgot. Pilot Wing 64 was a big one for me, and Wave Race 64.
I can't even remember Pilot Wing 64. That was really a thing?
Yeah.
I can't even remember that game. I bet it sucked.
Don't they have Pilot Wings for the SNES on the Classic?
Yeah, no, it's actually, I was actually thinking like, wow, I'm surprised Pilot Wings is not on this. It was a launch game.
Yeah.
And it was a showcase for Mode 7 graphics, right?
Right, Mode 7.
But it's not on the SNES Classic, and I got to wonder, because I think they probably have analytics from the Nintendo eShop that most people get stuck on the same level, which is like the it's real early in the game too, but it's the jetpack level. The controls are real shitty, and it's not a good experience. So I'm wondering if maybe they saw those numbers like, hey, maybe we shouldn't put this on here because no one likes this game. And no one can get past the third level like 10 minutes into the game. So I'm purely speculating though. But yeah, man, I'm going to continue to play that. It's so damn cute. It's so small.
So tiny.
I love it. It's great. And so, yeah, so you would think a normal week that'd be the last game I played, but no, I'll go quickly because I know we're taking up a lot of time here. But I did play Golf Story on the Nintendo Switch, and I am hype on it, and I love the character so far. If you take the graphics of Earthbound, Mother 2, right, and you put it in a universe where golf is life, golf ball is life.
Kind of like how Pokemon fighting
is
life in Pokemon.
Exactly. This is a world of golf, and it's so good. The music is great. It's very appropriate for the atmosphere. It's very childlike, very innocent. Lots of character. The characters are very distinct, and they serve the story well. I'm only about 2 hours in, but it is certainly a story about golf. And the most important thing is that the golf is fun, because you actually are playing like, full rounds, 9 holes, 18 holes, different golf courses, different obstacles. You're building up your character to have better accuracy, better spin, better stats, better power to hit the ball. So that's where the RPG element comes into it. I
I have to ask, Is it like, do you have a rival? Are there party members?
I don't know.
Yeah. How does
I
this
don't know
work?
about party members yet. There isn't any kind of turn-based battle like that though. Your battles are in golfing and like dueling. But I'll say this: I've quote unquote beat 5 other people at golf, but I've only played one actual game of golf. Because there's a lot of variety in the game because the storyline is very organic. It's actually really refreshing. There's not a lot like this that I can think of. It's not like, okay, time to fight. This is how we fight. Okay, time to level. This is how we level. It's nothing like that. It's like every encounter and experience I've had is unique and been its own thing. Yeah, and I'm sure there's more golf to be had. Obviously, it's early on in the game, but I'm interested to see if the game can keep up with this level of variety because it keeps the game very fresh. You never get like, oh, I'm just golfing again. Oh, I've got to golf this guy now. Got to golf this guy. It's not exactly like that. I don't want to spoil it. It's $15. What else can I say about the game? It came out on the Nintendo Switch September 28th, so it's another brand new game by Sidebar Games. Right. There is single player. There is multiplayer as well, so that can be really fun. Yeah, and it takes, it has very simple golf mechanics. It's by no means like a Tiger Woods simulator or something like that. It's very simple controls, very arcade-like. What I love about it, though, like when you're, it's very easy when you have the ball real close to the hole. Obviously, you're just going to putt it. You're going to tap it in. But still, the animation is like the dude takes a full swing, like a full-fledged, like hard as he can possible swing, but the ball just goes tink. And just goes, but it's just funny because you never see a game where they just go, hoo-ja! And the ball just goes.
Go to your hole.
Yeah, it just adds character to it. So I can recommend the game. It's good. I've played about 1.5 hours, 2 hours of it so far. I will continue to play. I think it's a perfect game for Switch because it's a great portable game. It's a great game to play on the run, but then also translates well when I put it on my giant projector here at home and sound system and stuff. It's fun. So that's Golf Story. Yeah. Any other questions before I move the last and final game I played this week?
I just want to understand. Is it like you're walking down the street or whatever, you see a dude and you guys talk and then he's like, well, I'll golf you for this or whatever, and then the screen just kind of like shakes and they play the Pokemon battle theme, and then it goes to a golf field.
It's not like that at all. It's like I said, it's like a world. It's a world of golf. So you go to the driving ranges, you go to the putting greens, you go to other golf courses, you go to the clubhouse on the golf course. It's like it's a world of golf. You go to the club, like the shop, right, to buy and upgrade gear. Like there's different settings, and also like for instance, there's one woman. She's worried because her son has headphones on and he's on a one of those tubes, right, like out in the water. And she's worried that he can't hear her, and she's calling him to come back to shore because an alligator is going to eat him. And there is an alligator there. So your job is to drop the ball right wherever you want, and then hit the ball and hit him to get his attention, so that that he doesn't get eaten by an alligator.
That's pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
Like, that.
Yeah, it's very charming, very cool, little tiny things like that, and they keep happening. And they're all different and they're all unique. So, like I said, I'm having a good time with the game, and I'm excited to see where the story goes. I'm into the story, and the tutorial is so cool. I hope it doesn't end up sad. I have no idea. But the tutorial is you're a even littler kid, and you're being taught how to play golf by your dad, and it's like a flashback. And so that's how you learn the mechanics of the game. And
cool.
That's not necessarily a spoiler. That's like right in the first minute of the game. So yeah, like I'm excited. There's nothing like it. And I think it's a great idea.
The only thing that would make this game better is if you're playing as Shia LaBeouf.
I wholeheartedly agree.
What was that golf movie with Shia LaBeouf in it?
What? Is this a real thing? It
was a golf movie. Yeah. I remember because he was wearing what do you call those hats? A beret? Beret? Those
what are you talking about?
Dude, I swear
no one believes you on this show.
Where it was I'm gonna look it up afterwards. But there was golf, and Shia LaBeouf was in the movie. It takes place in like the fucking 30s.
Colin, come back to us. Come back to us on Earth.
All right. I'm gonna find this movie. Unless I'm just I could be thinking about him in something else. but I swear,
Robert, man overboard, man.
Oh God. Okay.
Save us from this. Save us from this.
Other game, Jack, that you wanted to talk about?
Well, we talked about, right, the top 10 time sinks, time suckers of all time, and we brought up City Skylines, and I was like, damn it. I bought that game when it was on sale, super cheap. I know it's great, but I haven't really spent enough time in it or played it. So, I just decided to take, the better part of probably 11, 12 hours Sunday and, like, fall into a huge City Skylines hole, man. Like, I played so many video games. It's crazy. I played so many video games this weekend that I bit the bullet and I bought a desk treadmill that will be here in a few days because I'm like, I'm going to die if I just keep doing this. Like, I need to like move and walk actually just to,
there is a movie. There is a fucking golf movie with Shia
shut
LaBeouf.
up, Colin. Are you serious? You're bringing that up again? I want a name right now.
It's called The Greatest Game Ever Played.
I'm not sure if that's
By
true.
who? By who directed it?
Okay. It is directed by Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton.
What the hellhole are we falling into
Seriously,
right now?
dude, this. All right, I don't know the movie. I already tell it sucks. Bill Paxton and Shia LaBeouf.
But it's the greatest game ever played.
Please no. Please
It's a Disney
no.
movie. It was released in 2005.
Direct to video.
And why the fuck did you just remember it, Colin?
Yeah, what are you doing with your life?
I didn't even actually see it. I just remember seeing previews for it. But the idea of a young Shia LaBeouf playing, what's his name? Francis Ouimet. I think that's how you pronounce it. In this golf movie that takes place in like the 30s. It's just such a novel idea to me. It's so great.
All right,
It's
can
like
you put your shirt back on before you start describing this movie, please?
Stop rubbing your chest.
Yeah, it's really distracting the way you're swirling your finger like
the
that.
only thing that can make this movie better is if we could trade Shia LaBeouf for Nick Cage.
Now are you going to bring up a movie where Nick Cage was playing a golfer? Because I swear to God, if this is an elaborate goof.
I mean, he was already in The Wicker Man. I mean, come on.
Bro. Oh, Colin.
Okay, so City Skylines.
Yes,
you spent 12
back to
hours in
this
it.
game.
And
So-
now, do you understand why I suggested it in our top 10 time suckers? Because it's an incredible game.
I feel the power and the evil of raising taxes. I understand now. I understand civil zoning. I understand traffic patterns. I understand loans. I was taking loans out as a city.
Yeah.
Yo,
I was taking
so
loans out to build shit. And I was
are you changing your passion to working for the government now?
I was like, well, I understand now why it's someone's full-time job just to worry about zones. That's that's a department's whole job because it's fucking complicated. And it really opened your eyes. But then I was like, oh shit, like, well, our power plant is producing all this power, but we only have X amount of citizens. We don't need to do this. We're spending too much money on this. Cut the budget on that, right? So we're not wasting money. Like, so I'm sitting there like worrying about like the water supply and worried about pumping poopy water into the city. Like, you don't want to do that. That's in the bad column too.
Yeah, it's
that.
a game that's all about like micromanagement. That's all the game really is. It's
Yeah, but
just
it's fun though. But it is about
micromanagement.
it's whack-a-mole basically. Like when a problem arises, you got to figure out how to fix it. I was worried about like my water pipe network.
Yeah,
I was worried about like
Guys, I think we have a name for the. You have a name for the episode.
Water pipe network.
No, pumping poopy water into the city.
But you can't just build a road. You cannot build just a road, my friend. You have to lay the water pipes down. You have to lay the power lines. Like you have to make sure the road is either going the right way or has enough lanes for the population. It gets deep. And so right now, like I said, guys, I didn't even want to go to bed that night. I went to bed on a school night, quote unquote, a work night. I went to bed on a Sunday, like, dude, it's like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. It was so bad because the game is so good.
And were you dreaming about your city?
I'm trying to get away from it because I can see this game being dangerous. I can see, and had I played this much of it before our talk, I probably would have gone in a little bit more for this game being higher on the list now. I don't know where it ended up, but it didn't make the top 10. I could have entertained those conversations though after I've experienced this now. So I'm at the point now where I have gotten as far as I can get with what I know, which is not very far. So I need to learn more like tutorials. I need to see more YouTube videos on like how people are doing things, because I didn't even know you could like elevate roads and bridges and things like that. I didn't even know you could do that. So that knowledge would already help me where I am now. But I'm kind of scared to go back to the city just because it's so huge now. I've got like 20,000 people in the super city or whatever it's called.
Right.
And that's kind of how the progression is measured, is by your population, how many people are moving in, etc.
Yeah, the bigger the population of your city, the more you unlock and the more stuff you could do. It's a great game, and I love how there's just so much to do. It feels like fun work in like the best way,
right?
Because there's so many things you can juggle, like the transportation systems. There's roads, but there's also like subways or like airports.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Yeah, I haven't even gotten to that stuff yet. Like the trains, airports, like you said. You can do like cargo trains, and then also you could do like passenger trains.
Yeah.
But I love how the music also reflects how well your city's doing, like the health of your city. If it's bad, it gets really stressful.
Right.
If you're bleeding money, so you got to really worry about the budget, and again the taxes, and again you can like the ordinances, city ordinances. You have to worry about that. The whole thing, like you can tell your citizens they have to conserve energy, or they have to conserve water, or they have to have smoke detectors, or you can also like legalize marijuana in your city if you want to. It's really deep PC game. It can only be done on the PC. I can never see this on console.
So you can go from Columbus to Pittsburgh real quick.
Super quick, super fast. Yeah. I'm loving that game. Yeah. But I feel like I've been talking for like hours, guys. So let's move ahead. I know Colin was playing some interesting games.
Oh yeah. So I played over this past weekend. I played What Remains of Edith Finch. And so if you guys know me at all, I really, really enjoy my walking simulators. So I've played quite a few of them, you know, Gone Home, Firewatch, what was the other one? Vanishing of Ethan Carter. And this one might be the best one I've played.
Ooh,
I don't know.
It's
I haven't played all of them. I know there's a few more out there I still want to play. I think Tacoma, Virginia. Is that what that's called?
I can't say for sure.
Tacoma, Washington.
Well, there's a game called Tacoma.
I know, I'm fucking with them.
Ah, gotcha.
Listen real quick. I'm not going to talk very much here, but Colin, I'm happy you're happy, but I'm already disappointed. Because I didn't know because I didn't know this game was a walking simulator. This is the game about, I don't want to spoil it too much either, but this is the game where like it's kind of very fairy tale-y, and there's a narrator, and there's like words and stuff on the screen, and it like whisks away into the background.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know it was that kind of game. I kind of had a feeling it was almost like a BioShocky kind of game.
Oh no, I mean, there's not really any sort of like actiony. It's like not like a shooter action type stuff.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
It's definitely like I don't want to talk too long in this game, because if I talk too much about it, it'll spoil it. Because it's one of those games where like the less you know about it, the better it is. What I will say, like. So basically, the premise is you're a girl. It's kind of similar to Gone Home in that you're a girl returning to your childhood home, except the difference is this home that you're coming back to, whatever happened there, it's very apparent within the first few minutes of the game that the girl that you're playing as, who also is like the narrator, some shit went down at this house, and like some crazy shit, and whatever happened at this house, they had to get the fuck out of there, like, right now. Like, they had to leave. And then basically she's coming back to figure out what the story is behind the house that made them leave.
Real quick question. I know it's a suspenseful game, but is it a horror game? Or is that a spoiler?
I don't want to say, because it's like I said, it's like Gone Home. Like, if you say too much about it, it'll spoil it.
Okay.
So I don't want to miss any of the beats within the game, because there's a lot of cool stuff that happens within the game, and what I will say is just it's not a happy game. That's what I'll say about it.
Okay. It's not. So it is like Gone Home, which is the Hallmark Network lesbian love story that we all never knew we wanted so much.
Dude,
in our lives.
You can't tell spoilers.
Oh, sorry. I mean that game is like 5 years old, right? Something like that. Sorry. That's a good game. Play that game.
Yeah, forget what Jack just said. Play it. Going blind.
No, still play it. It's still a good game.
Gone Home is just so good. Gone Home, walking simulators type games, they're very divisive when it comes to critique and things like that. I really enjoy them because they're usually shorter form games. You can sit there and beat them in one sitting, usually. And you just kind of relax or and just enjoy the story that the game is presenting you, which is, I think Firewatch is still my favorite though.
Firewatch is long though.
It is longer. Firewatch is still, it is longer, but it's still my favorite because I like the setting a little bit more. I like the idea of like being a Firewatch and things like that, and you're kind of like this dude up in the tower, just kind of doing your thing, and you get to experience that. And there's a whole narrative behind that, which I also don't want to spoil.
So this game is only a couple hours long though.
Yeah, and I will say, I think it comes out at a price tag of $19.99. And I wouldn't say for the amount of gameplay that you get, it's necessarily worth that retail price tag. But I will say that like the story is definitely like a story worth playing through and worth experiencing. Because I think it's a story that'll leave you feeling empty but fulfilled at the same time, and it'll make sense when you play it.
Don't tell me how to feel. Not my mom. No, I'm just kidding. No, it looks very interesting. It looks very striking. I've seen about 15 minutes of gameplay or so, and I was like, oh, this game's got some things going on here. You know, it's mysterious, and I want to know what's happening. So
right, and I think that's a lot of the charm to walking simulators is going in not really knowing what to expect and kind of uncovering the mysterious part.
See the dissonance I have with this news, though, this newly discovered revelation that it's a walking simulator, is the scene that I saw was like a spoiler, is like a stealth part of the game, and it seemed more like Metal Gear / BioShock. So I'm not dogging the game. I'm just like, oh, I'm surprised to hear it's a different thing than I was expecting. Definitely sounds like Steam sale material for me.
I would say, yeah, you might want to get it a little bit cheaper than what it actually is, but I will say there's though it's a walking simulator, there's enough variation in the gameplay, and you'll see what I mean when you play it, but there's enough variation that it keeps it interesting. It's not like you're just walking around, the house the entire time.
Cool. All right.
Cool.
But that's all I'll say.
Gotcha. So another thing that happened over the weekend, Colin, is you and I went to a local game developer conference here in Columbus, Ohio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, called the Gamer Devs.
Are you paying attention, Colin? Like, you're sitting there talking, and you're like,
it's like, well, I'm done talking now, off mode. The Gamer Developers Expo, GDEX, I believe is what it's shortened to. This is, I think, the 4th year of them doing it, and Colin and I went together on Sunday. I went on Saturday. Colin, do you maybe want to give your thoughts first about, like, I guess the whole thing?
Yeah, so I was only able to go to GDEX on Sunday, but I was able to play the same games that Robert got to play, so we'll be able to share in the experiences a little bit. But it was just really cool, like the overall atmosphere. Everyone there is, there's local developers there, and a bunch of different merch outlets, and they're running like a charity thing, and just the overall vibe of the place. Though it's not like the craziest, it's definitely not like the most packed or the craziest expo you'll ever go to. You can definitely tell that everyone's chomping at the bit, and they're really passionate about what it is that they're doing, and they want you, they really want you to play their game and let them know, how your experiences measure up to, how they're developing the game and things like that. And it's really cool to see, that there's local people working on some really cool stuff. And I think Robin and I both agreed that The Pedestrian by this little development team named Skookum Arts, which is, I'm pretty sure it's just 2 guys.
I think it was 3 guys. Was
it 3 guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Probably the most interesting game for both of us there, and me and Robert can talk about this. But basically, what The Pedestrian is it's a puzzle game where you play as the little dude that you see on a men's bathroom sign, and you go across different basically, I don't know what would you call them, like.
So they're like different signs, right? So imagine like a signpost, like a one-way sign or something like that. But inside of each one is like a puzzle, and there are like doors leading off of each sign, and you have to like organize the signs and connect them in the right way, kind of like Portal almost, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yes.
So it's like a 2D side-scrolling Portal where you're connecting the different doors of different signs together to get to the end of that overall puzzle. And
right.
yeah, I thought the game was like really innovative. It's the kind of game that makes you sit there and think for a second, and it feels really rewarding in the same way of like when you finally figure out a Portal puzzle, you know, one that has you like stumped for a little bit, and then you're like, oh, I get it now, right? Like,
so is it too much like Portal?
No, I wouldn't say so.
Okay,
because yeah,
like
Portal
I wouldn't think I'm just playing another version of Portal.
No, I think it has like Portal mechanics, right? Where it's like this door leads to that door, even though it doesn't make sense. It's like I'm traveling through a portal, but it's not like you can shoot any wall you want to create portals. It's like they're from set fixed points.
Okay, interesting. Is it on Steam yet?
No. So here's the thing. They didn't really give like a specific timeline. They said they were aiming for sometime late next year.
Yeah.
But
when it's ready,
it's one
right?
of those things, right? It's when it's ready, sort of thing. They said they are in talks. They're trying to get in talks with like PlayStation and Xbox to get it on like their marketplaces. And based on at least the bar for PlayStation, like PSN, I know that they set their bar relatively low. So I don't think a game like this game looks professionally done just based on the demo that, you know, Robert and I played. It's done in Unity, like the game itself. But it just looks so well done, and it, even since it was a demo, it felt so polished.
Yeah.
And it just felt like a game, like a very highly touted game that you would see on PSN. So I definitely like the direction that they're going in, and I don't think they're going to have any problem getting their game on the marketplace once they really strive for it.
Cool. So
yeah,
they had a booth on the floor, or?
Yeah. So they had a booth, and they had 2 PCs set up where you could sit down and just play through a little demo that they had. Oddly enough, I was one of the developers on the game. I actually did a school project with his roommate, and I actually knew about the game ahead of time. So Robert's like, "Oh yeah, the Pedestrian." I was like, "I've heard of that game before.
Where have I heard of this?"
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, "Hey man, I did a project with your roommate. It was really funny, like small world type of thing."
That's cool.
But anyway, yeah, game of show for me for sure. I don't know about Robert, but
I have a question real quick before we talk about other games, just about the show overall. Was it crowded?
No, I wish, but no.
Like when you like, was it? I mean, would you say it was empty?
I wouldn't say it was empty, but it's definitely like not. It wasn't a bustling con. Like I went both Saturday and Sunday. They had like a developers day on Friday that I think was geared more toward. Like,
when you walked in, did everyone just turn at you and go, "Hey, Robert"?
No, absolutely not. I mean, like there were definitely people there, but it definitely wasn't the most packed convention I've been to for sure.
Okay.
On Saturday they had a lot of big names there. They had like some big name YouTubers and like some big podcast people there. And they definitely garnered the biggest crowd, like just going to their panels.
Okay.
But it's not like you were mosh pitting your way through the show floor.
Right. Well, wasn't it, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it like $30 a day?
Yeah.
That's pretty expensive, man.
It was a bit much.
I mean, you spent the price of a full game to go 2 days, you know? So it's kind of a big ask. I wonder if they were trying to make like a profit off of this, which small things like this, like you can't hope to make a profit. You can hope to break even. But I just felt like $30, you know, as a huge fan as I am of video games, like even for me, like $30 a day is like, do I want to do that, you know?
Right.
You got to want it. Right. So cool, man.
I played a couple other games though at GDEX that were pretty cool. Multivarious Games. They're a pretty big developer here in Columbus. They have this new game coming out called No Mercy. That's very like Streets of Ragey, like, you know, side-scrolling beat 'em up kind of thing. There's like a 2.5D length, so you can like go into the game and out of the game kind of a thing.
Ooh.
Like into the field and back toward the screen kind of thing. 2-player co-op. They plan on having like 6 different characters total, so it's like, you know, you can always have different kinds of abilities and stuff every time you play through it.
Okay.
It seems like it could have a good audience. It's got a lot of like, you know, combos you wouldn't expect. You know, like if these 2 characters are playing, they can like set things up for each other, or like those 2 other characters, you know, that kind of stuff.
I like that.
Yeah, it's definitely like a chill game to just play with a friend. I think like couch co-op especially, I think would be very fun.
You know one thing this weekend that I forgot even existed until I was going through my 3DS, like all the games I have on there. Those fucking 3D Sega remakes. Did you guys play any of those?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, what?
They took old Sega Genesis games and like made them all 3D on the 3DS. It's incredible. They
I was
remixed
not
them.
aware of this.
Bro. So Streets of Rage 2, which is the best Streets of Rage game, is
Are you
awesome.
serious right now?
Yes, it's awesome in 3D on 3DS. It is worth it. It's like $7-8, and there's like 10 or 11 of them. They got the original Sonic in 3D. Whoa. Sorry, I don't mean to go on this huge tangent, but I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
Streets of Rage 2,
that, though.
Bro. Streets of Rage 2. I expect a report on it next time I talk to you.
Streets of Rage 2. Okay, got it.
It's sick in 3D.
Yeah, so No Mercy though by Multivarious Games. Next to the Pedestrian, probably one of the most polished games or demos anyway that we played while we were there. Talking to the guys running the booth, I feel kind of bad for Robert because I was BSing with the dude from the booth forever. Because we got into talking about like flow theory and a whole bunch of other cool gaming research stuff. But talking to the guy there, he did actually mention that they were trying to up the difficulty in the game. But it was funny though because when he was saying that, me and Robert were sitting there and I was having like a full blown conversation with this guy working the booth, and I was playing through the game no problem. Like I was like kind of just in auto mode playing this game, so it wasn't like I was having an insanely difficult time with them. But he did say they were gonna up it so like you die in only a few hits or something like that. I did remember him mentioning that. So I don't know how they're going to change the difficulty too much, but the art style was the most standout thing about the whole game. It's all like hand-drawn looking, and it's got like that weird thing with the character models where it's like, okay, they're in 2D, but they actually look 3D when they turn. Think kind of like some of the animations in Guilty Gear, I guess.
Yeah, that
okay.
I'm liking it to that.
Interesting.
I'll say too about the difficulty, like it was on a show floor. It's not like they're going to put the hardest difficulty on the show floor.
Right,
and they shouldn't either. Yeah, what is this, Dark Souls?
Yeah.
One question I have about that studio: do they have any games that I would like recognize, like released, like any games that? What was like their biggest like success so far?
I know they've had one other game that's been published on Steam, and I could not tell you for the life of me what it is.
Okay. Do they? Okay, that's fine. I mean, they're they're a young company, they're growing and stuff. Are they like an LLC? Are they just like an indie, like living off ramen in the basement, kind of like how's their operation work?
So they're probably like the biggest studio around here
in Columbus, right?
Yeah,
Columbus.
Yeah. Because
they're still small time indie though, for sure.
Where does their funding come from?
No idea. I kind of didn't expect you to go deep into this because I thought we'd be like going through these GDEX games pretty quick, honestly.
Yeah, I'm just curious about that because I hear that name all the time, and I'm just I want to know more about it. So I'll research it in my own time. So
well. I know they have like a full-blown dedicated studio, and not a whole lot of developers at that expo do. So
okay, cool,
right? Yeah, there was another game I played there called Bomb Fest. That's like going to be out on Steam in 3 weeks. It's out on itch.io right now too. Which if you're an itch.io person, you can buy it there. But it's a fun couch like multiplayer game. I think if you have like 4 controllers connected to the TV, you play as like little. Basically Lego mannequin men, kind of. I mean, obviously not actually Lego because trademark, right? And just bombs fall from the sky on the like little table that you're on, and you just throw bombs at each other to knock each other off. Very simple concept, but I could see it being fun for like having some friends over or something.
Yeah, it's like you could easily turn this into a drinking game sort of thing.
Yeah,
easily. It's a fun party game.
Yeah, so I just thought I'd give that a mention as well. I played another big game this weekend, though, one that wasn't an indie game. In fact, it might be one of the biggest games on the planet, just in general. I played the beta of the Call of Duty World War II multiplayer.
The Call of Duties is back, guys. It's holiday season, we know now. Yeah, along with Madden. Yeah, there's going to be some kind of Call of Duty game out. So this is Raven Software?
No, it's Sledgehammer.
Okay, is it Sledgehammer did like the single player and Raven did the multiplayer?
I thought it was Sledgehammer heading all of it.
Oh, interesting. That'd be the first time then.
Maybe. I can't be 100% sure.
Okay, cool. So we played together. Yeah, we played the PC beta over the weekend for a short hour or so.
Right. It it was, I think, to quote you during our playtime, this is the most Call of Duty ass Call of Duty I've seen.
It is, yes, to quote you quoting me, it is some Call of Duty ass Call of Duty, and I mean that in the worst way possible, and not as a compliment at all. And I was like, oh, like it reminded me, like, oh, this is what I used to play, like, oh.
See, for me, like when I first booted it up, it was kind of like oh, this is nice. Like I haven't played a game like this in a while, so it was kind of like fun to scratch that itch again. And then I played my second game, and it was like, oh, well, this is just go in and die and respawn and die again.
Like you might as well, if you're gonna play and we were just playing multiplayer, right? Like we can't make any comments on single player, which now seems to me like the reason to play this game after the hour we spent in multiplayer. But essentially, imagine you played Super Meat Boy, right, Colin?
Yes.
Okay, so just imagine holding right and the X button, the run button in Super Meat Boy, just holding that the whole time and just watching him go over the cliff or go into the grinder. Right? That's what Call of Duty multiplayer felt like. It's just like, oh, boot up, die. Boot up, live a little bit, die. You know, it's like if you got one kill.
That's pretty much me when I play Call of Duty.
If you get one kill, it's like, oh, I did something, and then die instantly. Like if you get 2 kills, it's like godlike.
Yeah, and it's like, I can already see people saying like, why don't you just get good at Call of Duty, scrub? And it's like, sure, if the map design was good.
Well, there's already the map. So yeah, you're not wrong. The map design is not very inspired at all. Very claustrophobic, very narrow. Lots of long sight lines where snipers will have their way with you. But it's just not good. It just has not done anything. It's too much of a throwback, right, to the 2005 Call of Duty 2 launch game on the fucking Xbox 360. There's no reason to play this game. I feel like shooters have evolved way past this. I know we keep saying these games names, but with Overwatch and with PUBG, like there's like no reason to play this latest Call of Duty that I've seen so far. And it's also of note that when you're starting like your campaign or whatever, there are these videos that play for the different like or the different factions of the military you can join, and I feel their sincere effort, Robert, in trying to invest, have you emotionally invested in the story. I feel like they're trying to emulate like a Blizzard kind of vibe with that. I feel they're trying, but they fail, and they try just a little bit too hard, and it's very evident, and just the videos are more funny than anything. And I was just like, oh, sorry, guys. No, it's not working.
Yeah, that sucks to hear, though, man. It sucks to hear that it's downgraded, or they brought back the boots on the ground thing, but in the worst sense.
This gameplay has been stale for a number of years. Okay, and they just have not improved any. They haven't. They're pretending like all other shooters that have come since have not existed. It's like, we're Call of Duty. We're just doing what we're going to do. We don't have to try because we know you suckers are going to buy this, which they're probably right. And that's kind of it. I feel like they are phoning in the multiplayer for sure. And again, now I'm like, well, single player better be awesome because that's be the only reason I'm going to play it. Because there's no way, dude, I'm playing more multiplayer after that. It was like we played for an hour. We're like, I'm done. This sucks.
Yeah, absolutely no desire to go back. Wow.
To sing its praises, though, I think the sound design of this Call of Duty is pretty good. When a bullet almost hits you, it really sounds like it, that kind of stuff. It sounds really good.
Yeah.
And in terms of mechanics, it's very polished, but at the same time, you can only polish a turd so much.
Oh. Oh, it's so shiny.
Yeah, it's very shiny. And I mean, this is actually a really good segue into the news section of this podcast here. When you take a look. Well, when you could take a look, because you can't actually see them anymore. The Call of Duty World War II beta page on Steam had super trashed reviews. Like 74% were negative.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. And I read through quite a few of them, and some of them were just your typical, like, herder, it's Call of Duty, so it's bad, just probably from people who didn't play the game or just, like to hate on Call of Duty because it's a cool thing to do.
Because you can review games on Steam without playing a game?
I'm not sure. I mean, that you could just, like, install it and, like, boot it up for, like, 0.1 hours, right?
Gotcha.
And there were some people, like, and this is actually true because I've ran into this a couple times in the time I played, is that there were already hackers in the beta.
That's what I was going to bring up to you. That totally ruined the fucking game. There's already hacking going on.
Right, and people are making the excuse of like, well, it's the beta. Like, obviously, Activision doesn't care right now. They'll bring down the ban hammer when the game's fully live. But it's like, if people can already hack the game in the, like, what, 72, 96 hours the beta version was live, like, that's some shit.
I mean, the beta, okay, now, technically, a beta is not really in service of the fans. It's actually the fans servicing the developer so they can be ready for when the game actually launches. Like, I understand that. However, you cannot deny the simple fact that a beta also serves as your debut to the audience. To the big, I would argue the biggest fans of this game are going to be the ones that are interested in participating in the beta, the ones that are most likely to buy it and most likely to spread, word of mouth about it, like we're doing right now. And so you can't, I mean, you can only give so poor a beta experience before you lose audience members. And I'm going to admit, I was really optimistic about this. I was like, oh, this could be good. They're making a good move here. I like the return to World War II. I'm ready for that now. But also, if I'm not going to play the multiplayer in a Call of Duty game, like to so many people, that'd be like unthinkable to say. It's just like,
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see like what the zombies version looks like, but I'm also just one of those weird people that likes the zombies version of Call of Duty. So,
this is the first Call of Duty, isn't it, with like all three versions? Or no, they have plenty with multiplayer and single player and zombies. Never mind.
Yeah.
I have to ask you. I'm sorry, but this is like the state of the world we live in now. But like 74% negative. Was that all based on the game, or was that all based on some angry nerd getting mad?
I could not say for sure because I wasn't about to sift through the thousands of reviews that were left. Like, I'm sorry, but there's only so much I can handle.
Sure.
But I imagine like the game just didn't make that great of an impression. I mean, consider the fact that you and I, Jack, like the impression it left us wasn't exactly a glowing positive. Like, I can't wait to buy Call of Duty World War II day one.
Yeah.
Right.
I uninstalled it as soon as we got out of there. I was like, nope.
Yeah, same here. It's just if you're really hankering for some Call of Duty, like, it's definitely the game for you, right? But it's like there are better shooters out there now, I think. There are shooters that do things way more differently, and they add so many mechanics that make the game more interesting. Whereas this is, as the marketing says, boots on the ground.
So you're bummed out by this news, Colin?
Yeah, a little bit, because I was waiting for a harkening back to like World at War. And it's kind of what I miss, like World at War and like Black Ops, that type of stuff. And that's kind of what I was waiting for to maybe get me back into playing again. Because I think that's kind of why I suckered into Battlefield 1 for a while, was because like it kind of gave me that same feeling of playing that back then, just on a bigger scale. I think Battlefield 1 was like if World at War or Black Ops kind of grew up a little bit and took a little bit bigger scale. And I mean, at least in Battlefield 1, it wasn't like running into a meat grinder. It was like, you actually were on the, there was a little strategy there. You were running around the battlefield, and you were, you could actually find a position and hold it down and, be strategic about what the hell you were doing, unlike Call of Duty's, well-known and criticized run and gun type gameplay.
Well, I think then what you're looking for is a Battlefield game. Like, expecting that out of a new Call of Duty would be a bit much, I think.
Right, and I mean, I think Call of Duty has its merit with me, because I do sometimes enjoy that kind of Twitch run and gun gameplay, when I'm in the mood for it. But the slow burn of Battlefield is more my take, because I'm not much of a Twitch player. Obviously not the streaming service, but as in, just having fast reaction times and getting that gun up there and firing at 100 people coming towards me. So I think that's just more my pace. But it has its appeal, but it sucks that this new Call of Duty just it's going backwards in the worst way.
Right. Let's hit up some of the other news items, because we are kind of going a little over time, I think. So Stardew Valley is coming to the Switch tomorrow, or I guess the day of this podcast, Thursday, is Stardew Valley.
By the time you hear this podcast, you'll be playing Stardew Valley on your Switch.
Super fun, super perfect platform. Yeah.
If you're waiting for Animal Crossing on the Switch, just buy Stardew Valley. It'll tide you over, and then make you realize that it's better than Animal Crossing, and you won't care anymore.
Wrong.
I think you've played enough Stardew Valley to know, Jack. Deep down in your heart of hearts.
Stardew Valley is great. My wife probably couldn't be more excited for this game release, so looking forward to it. And I'm glad that they didn't seem to waste too much time getting it on the console.
Yeah, for sure. Neo also is getting its like super ultra complete Game of the Year Century whatever edition. It's not Game of the Year edition. It's a complete edition that includes like the 3 DLCs. It's coming November 7th, and they've announced that it's coming to PC, which kind of makes me a little bit mad, but hey. And
I feel so smart for waiting now.
Yeah,
I had it in my like a digital like cart to buy it on PS3. I was just about to. Sorry, PS4. Yeah, I was just about to buy it, and then some like voice in my head said, "Just wait, just wait. Don't pay full price for this game. Wait for a sale." And I've waited long enough. Now I can play it on PC, and it's probably gonna be in 21.9. It's probably gonna be uncapped resolution. So that game, it's samurai, guys. That's all I can say. I'm pumped.
Man, I still can't believe you're hyped about this fucking game, but you don't like Dark Souls. Like, doesn't make any sense to me.
It's literally Samurai Dark Souls.
It's
how does that not sound cool? That sounds cool.
But you hate Dark Souls.
No, I'm just saying this now to see Colin's reactions. To be totally honest with you, but no, I'm open to this game. Okay, now I just think that it's a Dark Souls informed samurai game, right? So
dude,
I don't
all
think
all I'm saying is good luck. I played the demo for this game, and it was kicking my ass.
Yeah.
I played through all 3 Dark Souls games.
Okay.
Part of Demon Souls and Bloodborne.
Okay.
So.
All right.
It'll be tough.
I'll wait till the reviews. I'm sure it'll be great. But it is on my short list of games to look out for this year. And make no mistake, gentlemen, this is going to be a great holiday season for video games. It's starting already. Like, it's already happened. It's already happening, and it's going to continue. It's only going to get crazier through December when Xenoblade Saga or whatever. I can't think. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 comes out in December. Like, holy crap! Like, it's going to be an awesome 3 months here.
Yeah,
Xenoblade Gears Saga.
Yeah, just take your next 4 paychecks, and instead of setting some money aside, just throw them at video games.
All the money
that's what this holiday season is.
Yes, all the money we're saving on Whole Foods now since the price went down.
I'd really like to get that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Collector's Edition for 20% off in Amazon Prime, but they stopped doing that for Collector's Editions.
First world problems.
Yeah. Let's see. Rockstar has dropped a trailer, another trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2.
Their second trailer. This is the first story trailer, however, I think.
Yeah, there's like actual voice acting and stuff in it, and like character models.
We're introduced to the main character.
There's some cowboy stuff happening.
I do have thoughts.
There's an old miner guy.
Apt observation. There's cowboy stuff going on in this Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer.
Do cowboy things. I have thoughts, opinions about this. Who wants to start, though?
I kind of have absolutely no thoughts or opinions on it. I felt like that's nothing.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about it. It's like, yeah, it's a Rockstar game trailer. It's, they're throwing yelling people at you. They're like, these people are screaming about something, and then they're doing a lot of crime stuff.
Man, you were on it with your descriptors.
I know
you are on.
I mean, I'm operating at a 4th grade level today, gentlemen.
I mean, like, I don't know what else to say about it. Like, they're just kind of alluding to things. They're not really giving us some really deep detail. You know what I mean? I think if you're like a diehard fan of Red Dead Redemption, which it's been a long time since I played Red Dead Redemption, but I think if I played it a little bit more recently, there's probably more there to get out of it. But I mean, it's been so long since I played it, there wasn't much for me to pick up out of it, other than the fact that this is like a trailer that Rockstar does for their game. Like this is something that they would cut and edit a Max Payne 3 trailer just like this or something, or a GTA trailer like this.
Red Dead Redemption is one of the greatest games of all of last generation. Full stop, I think.
Oh, it's fantastic.
My opinion. It's up there, man. It's one of the best. A lot of people would say it is the best, and I think there is certainly argument to be made for that case. So this game has a lot to live up to, a big legacy. I remember when the screenshots were released some months ago, and I was like, damn, these graphics look sweet. I was like, this game is going to be like a step up. Then this trailer came out, and I was like,
yeah, I will say character models looked a little stiff.
The Yeah, like the facial animation was offish to me. It was nowhere near like Last of Us levels, and you would think that it would have eclipsed Last of Us by now as a last gen game.
Right.
You know, but it's not even there. It's not even close to that level, in my opinion, what I've seen. And they do close-ups of the face. Like, I've seen what it looks like now. And so I'm just like, huh. Because this is coming out to PC, too. And this is, like, going to be, like...
Wait, was that confirmed?
I could have sworn. I could have sworn.
All right.
I could have sworn. I'm not 100% on this now with your doubting me, but I'm almost sure it was. Anyways, but it will come to PC. There's no doubt. Okay, if it's not launch day, it is absolutely coming out.
Red Dead 1 didn't.
No, it finally did though, didn't? Or no, it came on 360. It came to Xbox One by backwards compatible. I get it. Okay, right. But I'm telling you, it'd be crazy for them not to do it on PC. There's no way. I'll bet you a Chipotle burrito that they're bringing to PC. So I'm just worried about it. It just looks bad.
Right.
And the story was not engaging. I didn't think the characters. Like, it didn't do its job. It didn't sell me the game. It actually kind of unsold me the game. No, don't get me wrong. I'm going to play this game. It's one of those you have to. It's one of those tentpole releases. I'm going to play it 1,000,000%. But I'm now worried, whereas before I was all about it. So the trailer kind of hurt the brand more than anything, to me.
Yeah. And also, can confirm, it isn't coming to PC. Just like with Grand Theft Auto 5, it took 2 years.
Yeah, it'll take forever. It'll take forever.
So if you want to play this game on PC, you're waiting until probably like 2020.
So PS4 Pro is where to play this game then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Or maybe the Xbox One X. Who knows?
Okay. Do they have a release date on the PC version?
No, they haven't even talked about a PC version. This is Rockstar, you know, like they don't give a shit about PC till like way after.
And that's where they're making all the money though on GTA 5, you would think.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. For me, part of me is thinking like this isn't final yet. Who knows if if this is what it's going to look like in the game. But at the same time, it's like they felt proud enough of this to make it a trailer, right, for all the people to consume. So I don't know. I want to hope that it's better. And honestly, I play Red Dead for more of like the feeling it gives you rather than the story it tells, rather than the like cutscenes it has. Because I think like both of you played the original Red Dead Redemption, right?
Right.
Wait, on PS2?
On PS.
No, Red Dead Revolver.
Red Dead Redemption.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Revolver.
No, I've beaten Red Dead Revolver.
Oh, that's hardcore, and that game sucks. I heard.
Yeah, but like Red Dead Redemption felt very fun to just wander around. It felt literally like Cowboy GTA in like the best way.
It was the best Cowboy simulator game ever made.
Right, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Hey, let's not forget about Gun, guys.
Gun.
No,
Gun for let's forget about
Gun for 360.
Let's
let's
forget.
Why are you pulling so many Shia LaBeouf golfing?
I know, what's with you today, dude?
Nick Cage golfing. What is this?
Do you have like a Vicks humidifier on in your room right now, Robert, and it's just affecting Colin in strange ways?
What are you trying to say, man? What are you trying to say?
I'm saying you're saying weird shit today, and I'm concerned as a friend.
And here's the thing: you normally say weird shit, so the fact that we're pointing it out makes it extra weird.
It's fine. So you have a Shia LaBeouf Cowboy fantasy.
A totally relevant topic.
Just put your shirt back on. For the second time, I'm asking you, please.
Okay. All right. Apparently making a reference to another Western game when we're talking about Westerns is weird.
No, but I'm saying, back to that, let's forget all about Gun. Let's just, for the betterment of mankind, let's move forward.
Okay.
All right.
Now, if you want to talk to me about Black, then we'll have that talk.
Is Black even a Western game?
It's a gun game.
So let's get on with this last bit of news here. So Rick and Morty season 3 concluded on Sunday. It was pretty good. I'm a fan of it. We won't talk about it though. So don't expect spoilers on this cast if you still haven't seen all of it yet. What I do find very fun and very interesting. This is just like a little wacky bit of news. If you haven't seen Rick and Morty, you've probably heard something about Szechuan sauce. I think Jack is our resident non-Rick and Morty person. Have you heard anything about Szechuan sauce?
I haven't. I'll be there. I know it has something to do with McDonald's.
Okay. So in the season 3 first episode, the episode they aired like on April Fool's this year, like they ended the episode with Rick saying to Morty, like, "This is it. This is my character arc. We're going to find that Szechuan sauce, Morty." Like he's all about that that Mulan Szechuan sauce from the 90s in McDonald's.
Oh, they
Well,
had
that's
they had a sauce out during Mulan.
Yeah.
McDonald's did.
So,
Okay. Oh.
So that episode was the only reference that was made to Szechuan sauce. Like the rest of the season doesn't even mention Szechuan in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
But after that first episode aired, I think McDonald made like a jug of Szechuan sauce, like a couple jugs of Szechuan sauce, and gave it to like the creators of Rick and Morty.
Oh wow.
But what McDonald's has just confirmed is that this Saturday, October 7th,
What?
they're bringing back Szechuan sauce for a day.
Shut up. Are you
Just
serious?
for a day. I'm
Just for
serious.
a day.
They like Rick
Just
and
for
Morty
a day.
that much?
Every McDonald's around us is going to be smacked busy.
Wait,
Yeah,
Everyone across the
nationwide?
nation is going to be smashed.
What's the deal with the Szechuan sauce?
I can't confirm nationwide or not, but it's just like it was just an offhand joke. I think like if I had to bet, I'd bet it was like they told Justin Roiland, who voices Rick, to just get in the sound booth and just start ranting to Morty and like improv. And for some reason, he just said Szechuan sauce and like ran with
That's
it.
funny.
And now it's like the biggest thing. That's like my guess on how that happened.
First, the internet hijacks democracy. Now we hijack McDonald's menu. What's next? This is crazy. That's really funny.
Honestly,
I hope I get it where I live, man. That'd be
Yo,
funny.
so I am definitely hitting up McDonald's before I go to work on Saturday. I'm trying to get me some of that sweet Szechuan sauce.
Oh, same
'cause
though.
Yeah, but
Oh.
it can't ever live up to whatever expectations you guys have in your head.
Oh, probably
I
not.
don't care. It's just because like I need all the Szechuan sauce. I'm going to save at least a pack just to as a monument to the glorious day and the glorious thing that is Szechuan sauce.
So you're gonna keep a pack of Szechuan sauce as a souvenir?
I'm
Fucking I am.
I'm not trying to yuck your guys' yums, but I'm telling you right now, it ain't no damn Chick-fil-A sauce, y'all. That's the boss of sauce.
Oh, it's not the fact of whether or not it's the greatest sauce ever or anything.
Okay.
But
It's just a funny thing they did, and they did it. You think they did it, and for sure it's time for Rick and Morty. That's really phenomenal if that's the case.
dude, I guarantee like by the time like regular breakfast at McDonald's is over, like the Szechuan sauce is gonna be gone.
Oh, for
Like,
sure.
Funny.
Yeah, it's gonna be like I don't know. The one that I go to gets usually pretty busy, so we'll see.
McDonald's, by the way, breakfast, like, yeah, I love it. You know, who doesn't? It's an American thing to do, is to love McDonald's
I
breakfast.
love my McDonald's,
But I
breakfast,
think
though,
it's
not gonna lie.
underrated. I think their big breakfast plate, whatever it is, with the with the pancakes and stuff and the whole egg and
Yeah,
sausage.
hot piece.
I think that shit
Pretty
is
solid.
underrated. I think it's very good and it's very cheap.
I love that shit. I don't know. Some people talk shit on McDonald's breakfast. I'm like, dude, it's
No.
the quickest. Nah, it's so quick though. It's not like you go there. I mean, it's kind of expensive. It's kind of pricey.
No, I
want
don't
that-
think
you
it's
want
that
that-
bad.
Sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles are like $3.54, bro.
Yeah, and you know what? The orange
Yeah.
juice is so shitty at McDonald's, but I love it. I don't know what they
It's
put
so
in it.
sweet.
They must sprinkle
It's
crack in it
really
or something,
sweet.
man. Because it's real. It's the worst orange juice I ever eat or drink. I eat my orange juice. It's
I
the,
do too.
it's the
Yeah,
worst orange
same.
juice I've ever had. But I love it when I'm at McDonald's. But I recognize it sucks.
I mean, that's the power of McDonald's. You're always loving it.
Oh,
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Okay, wait, no, they can sue us for that.
Oh yeah.
Swiping
All
our
right,
corporate
let's-
cards.
Yes, let's get over now to the Would You Rather section of our podcast. So I'm going to hand it over to Colin, who's got us a wonderful question.
Okay, so this might be a little confusing, but just kind of try to bear with me. So, imagine a world, right, where
Oh boy.
you, on a scale of attractiveness, 1 to 10, right? On a scale of attractiveness,
We're never letting you do these ever again.
What? Keep going.
Good.
Keep going. Please.
all right. So on a scale of attractiveness, obviously you have like 1 to 10, right? So imagine on that scale, you are an 8. You personally are an 8 on that scale. Universally, you're considered an 8. And the average attractiveness of people in the world is 10.
Okay.
But conversely, would you rather that or live in a world where you are universally touted as a 6, but the average attractiveness of every other person in the world is a 4?
Okay, so you're basically saying, would you rather be the most attractive person in an unattractive world or the least attractive person in a super attractive world?
Well, the thing is, like, you wouldn't be the least attractive person in the world full of, or averaging 10s.
Oh, the average. You're not saying
You would
everyone's
just
a
be,
10.
Wait,
so
You're-
wait.
I'm actually, it's more like saying, would you rather be below average but still be pretty damn attractive, or be above average and not be that attractive but be more attractive than a lot of people?
Wait, so if this is a scale of 1 to 10, how the hell do you average 10 without everyone being a 10?
Yeah. Yeah, the math doesn't check out on this, Colin.
No, what I'm saying, I mean, does that make sense?
I think I know what you're saying, but it's just for simplicity's sake. I think it's just easier to think you're the most attractive in a mediocre, world, or you're the least attractive in a super sexy world.
Sexy world.
Sexy world.
Yeah, I guess to put it simply.
Yeah, I'd probably go for least attractive in a most attractive world. Because
Really?
I kind of don't care about how attractive I am as much. I don't often gussy myself up. I like to think that my personality is the reason people would like to suffer through my existence, rather than
Snickers ensue.
Right. rather than my beautiful, charming smile or my straight teeth that never needed braces.
Snickers.
Look, that's what I like to think. So I don't know.
Final decision. You locking in?
So what about you, Jack?
Oh, sure.
I mean, I think it'd be interesting though to be the 6 in a world of 4s. Purely for the fact, I'm going to say some controversial things here too. Purely for the fact that I think you would have more influence than I think you guys are considering. You would have a lot of influence in that world. You get
1,000%.
a lot. Yeah, you get a lot of things when you are perceived to be attractive that you wouldn't get otherwise. Now, don't get me wrong, like personality goes a long way, goes real far. But when we're talking about like everyone in the world, I just think you'd open doors is what I'm saying. And I think that if you're an 8 in a world of 10s, by the way, this is the most shallow conversation I've ever had in my life. But that's okay because it's interesting. If you're an 8 in a world of 10s, like I think you're going to be on the struggle more than you might anticipate in almost all things. And that's just the way our brains are wired, for the most part, as Homo sapiens. So,
okay.
So I think it'd be interesting having a level of influence in all things that you don't even have to work for. They're just given to you by genetics, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's something to be said for that.
Okay. So just to pollute the pool a little bit, I guess. So the
what did you say?
Argument. What?
What did you say?
Said
Did you say poop the pool?
No, he said pollute the pool.
Oh.
pooping in the city.
You guys are legit in the same room. How do you not hear each other right now? I can hear him better all the way across the country than you can hear him 8 feet away from you.
All right,
Damn
so
it,
go
Robert.
ahead. Poop in this pool, Colin.
Yes,
what would you like
please,
to say?
all the
Yeah, pooping in the pool. Just to poop in the pool a little bit.
Okay.
So, man, now you're making me forget what I was gonna say, man. Come on.
You were going to talk about Shia LaBeouf again.
No. Yeah.
All right.
I can name Shia LaBeouf.
All right, let's say, how about instead of just being an 8 out of 10, you're also a golfer, and you had a golf movie about you that everyone forgot.
Jeez.
No, listen.
Hear me out, guys.
I remember what I was gonna
Cowboy
say.
golf.
Oh shit.
Boy meets golf. Okay.
I might. All right, I'm starting to tear up. Stop, please.
Okay.
Anyway, so if you're a person who's below what would be widely considered an 8 on the attractiveness scale, and then you were offered the opportunity to be an 8 in a world of 10s, so say that it would make you more attractive than you are now. What about that? Would that change your mind?
Okay, again, it's all about relativity for me.
Right.
Because attractiveness is, I guess, relative. Now, okay, man, I'm going to say some real bad stuff here. Because, again, this is the most shallow conversation I've ever had in my life. But
TM.
I used to listen to Howard Stern all the time. And so this is where I got this concept from him, was that girls are rated, a guy can, okay, I'll just put a scenario out there. A guy can think that girl A is X attractive when he sees her, okay? But if he sees her next to girl B, who is X attractive plus, it makes the other girl look less attractive than if she wasn't standing next to her. Does that make sense? You know what I mean?
Yes.
So by that, and again, these are not my words. It's Howard Stern here, okay? So don't email me about this stuff. But it's all about relativity. right? It's not an imperial scale, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I completely see what you're saying.
Right.
So, I mean, have you guys locked?
Like I just want to say, if you're the 6 in the world of 4s, you're basically a 10.
Exactly.
Whereas
You're a
if
12, basically.
Right. Whereas if you're an 8 in a world of 10s, you're pretty much like what, a 1, a 2.
Yeah, you're almost a 0 or 1. Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, so there again, you know, it's I don't think that I would jump from a 6 in that world to an 8 in the other world. If that's your question.
So if you were in a world where you were a 6 in an average world of 4, what would happen when you met or came across people that were even more attractive than you? Would you feel threatened?
But you're the 6. You're the highest of the high, I thought.
No, yeah. I'm not saying you're the highest of the high. I'm just saying it's the average 4s. You're a 6, but there's still the possibility. There's still those 4 numbers above that.
Well, clearly you can
they're not
only marry.
non-existent. Yeah, they're not non-existent.
Oh,
Yeah, got it.
a new wrinkle enters.
A wrinkle in time. So
Okay.
thoughts?
Okay, that changes things a lot. So then in the same way, if you're an 8 in a world of 10s, it doesn't necessarily mean everyone's a 10, but like most people you run into will be 10s, but they're occasionally like 9s, 8s, 7s.
By the
4s.
way, like, why am I envisioning that
Correct.
Justin Timberlake movie In Time, where like you just have like your number tattooed on your wrist, like how attractive you are, like, oh, I'm an 8, oh, you know,
Oh,
like,
you're an 8 too? Oh,
like, yeah, this
man.
would totally change the Tinder game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like, show me your wrist. I don't believe
I
you.
actually really love that movie. I'd sue me, but I did.
Nah, it's not the worstest. It's just not good. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know what you do, guys? You just find a woman that loves you for who you are, and then you marry her. That's what I did.
Oh, so sweet, so loving, so cute. Oh,
But in all reality, like, she lets me be who I am, you know, and she's known me. She's known
Yeah,
me when
she lets you not wear pants.
she well, I'm in my home, dang it. If you can't not wear pants in your home, where can you not wear pants is my question to the American people today.
it's a ponderous question.
But like I said, she's known me when, you know, I was in great shape. She's known me when I wasn't in great shape. And, you know, she never made me feel any different because of it, you know. She's never made me feel like self-conscious about it or anything like that, or ever even brought it up unless I ask. So, you know, whereas
And then she lets you have it.
Whereas she didn't even let me have it. She's just like, you know, she just talks about like health things and, you know, things that someone that loves you would say, you know. But but I've been on the flip side too. I've been in relationships where girls were very vocal about that sort of thing. Like, I only date dudes that go to the gym 5 days a week kind of people. And it's just like,
man.
okay, you suck like at everything, you know? Like, so so I've dated both sides of the coin there, and I can say, like, find someone that like seriously like loves you for you. And that's probably a good way to end this show.
yes, find someone who doesn't care about the number tattooed on your arm.
Yes, exactly. Or Justin Timberlake for that matter.
Right.
Yes. So if
So real quick, so you guys locked in your answers, right? You guys locked in.
Yeah, I'm going with the 6 and the 4.
No,
world.
6 and the 4, and you too, Robert.
no, I'm going 8 in the 10s.
Okay, you're gonna do 8 and 10s. So this was actually a very similar question. Pretty much the same question was asked for a study that was done. I can't remember where exactly. But over 90% of the participants that in the study actually chose the 6 and an average 4 world.
I thought so. Mm-hmm. It's an individualistic society, so everyone wants to feel like the butterfly or the snowflake.
Right.
You know, so I can see that for sure, like, playing out. I'm a snowflake.
It's good to be in the 10%. So if you have an answer to this would you rather, or if you have a would you rather question you'd like to shoot us, or if you just have any questions, comments, concerns, you can email us at tinydiscpodcast@gmail.com. You can also go to tinydisc.com, where you can find all of our podcasts, and you could see all of our social medias on there. So if you'd like to follow us through the website, that would be wonderful. If you enjoyed this podcast, tell a friend. It'd be real awesome if you did. Let them know. Share the joy, share the love. And also leave us a review on iTunes. It'd greatly help us. We'd really appreciate it. And it's like a minute of your time. Where can we find you guys on the social medias?
I am at booboo__55 on Twitter, aka Colin and Mono.
At JACCEPEDA on Twitter.
And you can find me at Pinoptimist, PINOPTIMIST. We kind of wanted to take a little bit of time here at the end to kind of, just give the due diligence that is deserved of what happened earlier this week in Las Vegas. We found it's just overall a really shitty thing to happen, It's sparking a lot of political debate and political controversy that we kind of want to stay away from, but I think there's still something to be said just, as human beings, that this is an awful thing to do, and it has affected way more lives than I think that one person thought he would. And it's just an unfortunate event that should never happen. And the fact that this isn't the first time, you've read the headline, the biggest gun shooting disaster in modern American history. This has happened a lot recently. It's insane. It shouldn't keep happening like this. And the fact that it's not, it's like almost every day, and it shouldn't feel that way. I think it's just unfortunate that that's the kind of world we live in. So if you have some extra money after your paycheck, or you can donate blood, or donate some cash, I think it'd really help out. If you want to check the show notes of this episode, I'll leave a link for a GoFundMe that's raising a lot of money. I think they're approaching $2.5 million.
Last I saw, it's over 4 million.
Oh, is it now already?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So if you want to donate some cash,
which is nowhere near enough, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we'd much rather not have the GoFundMe and just have all those people alive.
Right. So just check out that link. See if you can throw some cash that way. I don't know if you guys have anything you kind of wanted to say about the whole matter.
I really don't think anyone, wants to hear us get all political and crazy on our soapbox here about this kind of stuff, but it is like that kind of event where we would feel weird about just brushing it off to the side and pretending like it didn't happen. So,
right.
I'm not here to push my opinions or my thoughts on anyone, really. We play video games and we talk about it on the internet a week, that's not really our arena. But just ask yourself, this is what I did. I lost legitimate sleep. After I played City Skylines, I was done about 1 o'clock. Then I caught news of this, and then I was literally up until 6:30, and I had to be at work at 7. So I got 15. Yeah. I was a little bit late, and I got 15, 20 minutes of sleep that night just because I couldn't I don't know. I just couldn't sleep. It just bothered me that much. So just ask yourself, we live in a time now in history, in the most affluent and influential country in the history of man, where this is just a part of life now. This is just common. And ask yourself, are you becoming numb to this kind of thing? And if you are you concerned with that?
Should never be normal.
Yeah. Is this just this is this week's news? I wonder what's next week. You know what I mean? Is it not really truly affecting you? I think, okay, maybe I will get a little political. I think the problem is that we're too shielded from the reality of this. I think people need to really be shocked. I think people need to see what happened, if you catch my drift. I think people need to see what happens, because I don't think people fully, truly understand and appreciate it. I think it comes down to stats and numbers for a lot of people. But I think if you've ever seen anything like that, okay, it would change it would affect you in some way, I would hope, if you have any shred of humanity, So I think that we can't obviously put things up like that on TV, on national TV, but still to this day, people in Sandy Hook, the first responders that had to go into that room where everything happened, they're still affected by it. They still seek therapy for what they saw, and no one else has seen that. And I just think that it would really shed true light on what is happening in this country, what is the new normal now, if that were to happen. I know that's controversial. I don't know if that would work, but I think it's time not to shy away from the truth of what's happening and figure out a better way, because this is not the best way to handle these types of issues.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I know Jack did too, but I have family that live in Vegas. I'm very thankful. I was shocked that something like that happened, but I was very thankful that my family's safe. I'm very thankful that Jack's family was safe. And I mean, it's an absolute tragedy that this happened. I mean, knowing that my cousin was actually pretty close to the events when they went down, uh, was scary. And the fact that these events that happen are something that we constantly have to worry about. I mean, something I think. I mean, I was on campus yesterday and I heard something. It sounded like someone dropped like a pallet or something like that, but it sounded similar to a gunshot. And I mean, I was like head on a swivel instantly, and I could tell everyone around me.
And just last August,
the same way.
Just last August, though, too, on campus.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was locked down in a classroom when that shit happened. I mean, Robert was too. So.
Well, I was locked in the newsroom actually because we were covering that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So although I did kind of want to mention that Jack brought up statistics. I do think just seeing the stats doesn't mean as much, I think, as seeing like photos and videos. But it is always interesting to see when stats are used in like haunting ways. Like the Washington Post's front page on Monday was incredible. I shared it on Twitter if you'd like to see it. But what they did is they had a graphic of like it was like a timeline of all the major shootings that have happened in the past 30, 40
I saw
years.
That, yeah.
Yeah, and then there was like lines above that was number of death and lines below that was number of injured. And the graphic ends at the right side ending of like where the story is on the page. And they use the line for like number of injured from this Las Vegas shooting as the column divider because it's that long compared to the rest of it's worth looking at on my Twitter if you want to check it out. Like it really kind of puts into perspective, if you're more of a statistics person, like how bad this whole thing is. So I think with that somber note, we're going to close out for this week's episode. So thank you for listening. We'll see you guys next Thursday.